Of all the quiet tensions and hidden dramas within the Beatles, one of the most overlooked, yet emotionally charged dynamics, was the strained relationship between George Harrison and a figure he allegedly grew to resent more than anyone else. And no, it wasn't John Lennon or Paul McCartney. While much of the public attention has focused on the well-documented creative clashes between Lennon and McCartney, few realize that George Harrison quietly harbored deep resentment towards someone he felt undermined, dismissed, and even disrespected. His talent for years, that person, according to several accounts and subtle admissions, was none other than Paul McCartney. Though they began as close friends and bandmates, George eventually grew tired of what he perceived as Paul's controlling behavior and perfectionist attitude, especially during the final years of the Beatles. During the Let It Be sessions, this tension came to a head with cameras capturing a famously uncomfortable moment when George sarcastically told Paul, "I'll play whatever you want me to play, or I won't play at all." The remark, said with a forced smile, barely masked the frustration simmering underneath. George felt that his creative voice was constantly overshadowed, that despite his growth as a songwriter, Paul, and to an extent, John, still treated him like the kid brother or a secondary contributor. Even as George wrote timeless tracks like Something in Here Comes the Sun, he struggled to get the same respect in the studio. Over time, this artistic tension evolved into something more personal. George reportedly felt that Paul didn't just dismiss his songs, he dismissed him as a person. Friends close to George have said that he found Paul to be overbearing, emotionally distant, and obsessed with control. And while George eventually forgave many people in his life, some sources suggest that reconciliation with Paul never fully happened on a deep emotional level. Despite their public appearances and brief musical reunions, George kept his guard up, often keeping his true feelings reserved for private conversations. According to a few insiders, George once admitted that Paul was the hardest person for him to truly love, not out of malice, but because he never felt fully seen or valued by him. In the end, George Harrison may not have openly feuded like Lennon and McCartney, but his quiet anger toward Paul was real and perhaps deeper than fans ever imagined. It's a painful reminder that even among legends, unresolved emotions can linger long after the music fades.